Welcome to Life
on
Life's
Terms
with your host Justin
and Kenny.
The topics today is fads, the fads in the diet world and the link to ideology, getting your blood work done and what that means, supplements, stomach issues, and doctor or homeopathy. But before we get into those things, we got to do those shout outs, so here they go.
Since it is always training season, what does your meal plan look like? Is keeping a healthy diet robbing from your palate and triggering unhealthy cravings? Keep on your A game and stop cravings at the same time with Homeopathy. Homeopathy is a perfect place to stuff your face with something that ties into your fitness goals. Try the miso salmon poke, spicy Thai salmon, or the albacore tuna poke on your choice of veg, quinoa, or rice. Eat healthy, eat right, eat Homeopathy.
Would you like to feel like an astronaut? Would you like to detach from all your bullshit issues just for a little while? Well, this is the best place to do it. It's our friends over at Modern Gravity. For only $39.99 a month, you can have the astronaut experience detached from your own horse shit. Call them, get a hold of them through www.moderngravity.ca, and they'll hook you up with a float today.
Boom.
That's it. It's all done. So how was your weekend? We haven't asked that question in a while.
It was good. I had my kids. We went swimming. We went bowling, and a little bit of fuckery. But we had a lot of fun.
What was the fuckery?
Well, just like, Grandma's like, go to bed. I'm like, hey, go to bed. Go to bed. Then they go to bed, and I go in and I get them, and I'm like, let's go watch a movie. Right?
That sounds like it was fun.
Yeah, we have fun.
Both girls?
Yeah, I had them both. You want to know what's cool, though, is for the first time I went to the pool over here at the stadium.
Yeah.
They have a climbing wall.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Well, fuck, the kids love that.
I bet.
So did I, actually.
What about the
slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It was quick. I only went down it once.
Yeah, it's all right, eh?
Yeah. I went down with my kids' goggles on.
Yeah.
So that's fun, because you normally hit the water at the bottom, you close your eyes because you're in water in the face, right?
Yeah.
Well, this time you put the goggles and keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's excellent. I'm glad you had a great weekend. And plus, we had fantastic weather up here in Edmonton this weekend, I think.
Yeah, it's still right now, too.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. Yeah, I might actually go downtown and go busking this afternoon.
Do it.
Why not?
I'll come by and throw you a buck.
Maybe. I didn't do fuck all this weekend. Really? I worked. That's what I did. I worked this weekend. I didn't really get into much aside from, I worked this weekend.
Yeah.
I think I played a little bit of guitar and that's it. It seems to me that I always break it open as soon as the sun's up because I really enjoy busking. I don't do it for money. I do it just because it's, a good time. And this is the worst. So I'm going to give everybody a heads up out there. If you see a busker, I don't give a shit if you're sober or drunk and you walk up to him and you kind of think that he or she is your personal jukebox. They're not. They're going to play what the fuck they want to play. And even if they like playing the song that you just requested, they're going to avoid that like it's the fucking plague or death itself. Okay? They're just not going to play it.
Well, why not?
Because there's a reason why they're out there busking and they don't have a 9-to-5 job. It's because they don't like rules. They don't like orders. They fucking hate authority. So, yeah. Typically, they'll just be like, fuck you. I'm not playing that ball. Maybe somewhere else they might do that, but not in the hard streets of Edmonton, boy. Let me tell you, they ain't doing fuck all for you. Anyways, and they'll still get your money.
Just get into a fight with a busker because he doesn't play your song.
When you're loaded, eh? Fuck you. Play Stairway to Heaven. Fucking dick. Just play Stairway to Heaven. You're like, it's a faux pas. I can't. It's not allowed. I can't play that on the street. Can't play it in a fucking music shop. I ain't playing it. I'm just not fucking playing it. I can play it. I'm just not. Just not. Yeah, I've been there. Best place though for anybody out there in Edmonton who's listening to the podcast to go busking, or maybe even in California. Universities suck because university students are broke and they have no money. But the best place is like legislator buildings or state buildings. Those suit fucks, especially the young ones, they all have money. They just got their jobs and they want to rock and roll a little bit. And they're going to live vicariously through you for about 3 minutes. And they're going to pay you that $5 or $10 for that vicariousness that you just provided them.
You know, I bet you if you had a fucking some form of like swipe or tap.
Oh, yeah, it'd be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Right? Tap your card here to donate $1.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Everybody walk by.
Just put your PayPal fucking name up.
Yeah, just tap right here.
Just go to PayPal. little sign. Just please go to PayPal. So how you liking this this diet and nutrition month?
Well, I have mixed emotions like usual about everything. A little bit of yay, a little bit of nay.
Yeah, Kenny's the guy who will fucking quit eating meat from one documentary. Let's go watch What the Fucking Health, and then I get a text message saying, I'm going vegan now, bro. Holy fuck.
Okay, so I haven't gone vegan because like I'm not allowed. My girlfriend won't allow it. But I have like pretty much
it's fucking awesome.
I've quit drinking like a big glass of milk.
Yeah,
and
drink milk.
I've pretty much stopped putting cream for the most part in my coffee.
So that's what I still
like.
do.
I'm not against it, like, but I just keep thinking of cow pus.
So I still put cream in my milk, well, in my coffee. So you were talking with Jeff a little bit about What the Health. So let's unpack that a little bit in the.
No, I refuse.
Well, we're going there.
Shane.
So, Shane. Yeah.
Shane White.
Shane White. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did that once again. Yeah, so the whole entire issue with What the Health is, in my opinion, like you had said, it's a propaganda film. Straight up. If you look at everybody that's in What the Health, they're a doctor that's a vegan, or they're a vegan of something, or they're part of PETA, or they're part of some sort of organization that has, they have like an agenda based in that veganism.
Bless you.
And so the issue that I have about that is that their filter is already pretty biased. They're not coming at you with both ends of the spectrum. They're literally just, and it's like, there was a film that came out in the 80s, I guess, that showed a bunch of people like killing farms and all that stuff. And the issue with that is like, it's a scare tactic, right? And then you look at, and I looked into What the Health. Monsanto's was a huge financial provider for What the Health. So when you look at Monsanto's being a financial provider for What the Health, and then Netflix picked it up, the unfortunates that I have about that is that I think Netflix just took it on. I think that's what ended up happening. And they bought something. It's
controversial, so it's going to get views.
Well, they bought something that I don't think they really wanted in their repertoire, and it's still there. And so the issue, like I said, when you look into it, I feel like I'm talking like Eddie Bravo right now when you look into it. But yeah, for real, Monsanto's was a huge financial provider. So what's Monsanto's agenda in paying for a film that's all about eating vegetables?
Well, to make money and to fucking poison humans.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would like to think that they're not in the game of trying to kill people, like legitimately. But at the same time, I mean, they definitely know that their chemicals are not beneficial for us. And yet, even in What the Health, they're trying to tell you to go organic. But what's organic?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really? Like, let's face it. To buy organic fucking seeds is very, very difficult today. Like, it's very difficult to find seeds that do not have a GMO in it, even in its basic form. So, yeah, What the Health is what the fuck. in my opinion. I mean, you can watch it all you want, but watch it with a very, very skeptical filter, I would suggest. Because a lot of the information, like we said this before, to put us in the same platform as a gorilla, it just isn't real. Our digestive system is made for meat. Gorillas are not. Like, they have 2 stomachs, just like a cow does. They didn't tell you that in What the Health. You know, they told you that our digestion system is exactly the same, and it's not. Like, it's just not. So, yeah, it's we're actually closer to like a bear or a pig. I mean, that's why they dissect pigs all of the time for human anatomy before they do testing on humans. Right? That's why they do that. And sociologists go and test like orangutans before they bring a test into human environment. Well, why do you think that is? It's because those are the animals that are the closest to us. They didn't go to no fucking gorilla. Like, they didn't do that. So to say gorillas are so strong, we can be just like them. No, that's a bunch of bullshit. We just don't digest the same thing or the same way as a gorilla does.
You made a comment the other day about, maybe they're trying to like make the whole population weak so people can come and disarm us and take us out of our homes easily.
Well, that's an Alex Jones theory for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's exactly what he believes. He definitely believes that's what they're trying to do. And yet you have people, like, that's the other thing too. When you and we watched some podcasts from another show, and you hear the tribalism that becomes of this diet ideology. Like, my name is Meat Matt. You know what I mean? Or my name is Vegan Vanessa. You know, or whatever it is. Like, they're putting their diet with their handle name on fucking Twitter or Instagram or wherever the hell it is, so they belong to that tribe. You know, it has nothing to do with like, this is where, like if you look at Laura when she was on the show, I mean, I would have never guessed that she was a plant-based person or whatever. I mean, you know, she didn't come across as like wearing her diet on her sleeve, so to say, like a fucking badge of honor. You know what I mean? She didn't do that. And as well, you won't see that in her work. I mean, she totally said that eating protein is great if that's what you want to do. Like, she wasn't opposed to it, you know? But we do have people out there where that's what they're doing. They're pushing that agenda of like, you know, my name is Vegan Vanessa, you know, and my name is Matt Mike or whatever the fuck. Like,
you ever seen that
Mike
skit?
Or whatever.
You ever seen that skit? I seen it on Facebook floating around somewhere, but where these people go up to, "Hi, my name's Kenny and I'm a vegan."
No.
Or they make fun of vegans about how hoity-toity they are. It's like, is there anything on this menu that's for vegans?
I mean,
there's like a whole subculture behind it and like a belief that like,
well, there also is in keto. Like, that's the same thing. There's no, it's become a camp. It's become a tribal thing. It's become an ideology of like, this is who you are, this is what you are, and this is what you believe. And then they vehemently are opposed to each other, almost like, you know, Bloods and Crips or fucking Hell's Angels and the fucking Outlaws. You know what I mean? Like that's the level that they go to. Like it's crazy. It is really crazy. Like it's fucked up. And then the problem is you get all this like we already have, you and I before the show talked about the information overload on diet and nutrition and working out and all of that. Yeah. And now you have people who, and I'm not saying that I'm qualified to talk about this. Like, all I'm saying is even you for a large part of diet and nutrition, we're going on our lived experience.
And that's it. Like I was even shunned off of learning new things because I felt like I knew too much already about it, and it fucks up my whole experience, like going to a restaurant or like going grocery shopping or anything, you know? Like,
Well, we can become narrow-minded, right? So I mean, I guess in the same gasp of that, like I'm not on a pedestal saying, "Hey, you should be this or you should be that," or "I'm a vegan," or I'm a keto guy," or I'm none of that. I'm the guy looking for a fucking diet or a food plan that works for me, that does not, where I don't have to eliminate. You see what I'm saying? I know that the second I start eliminating like shit out of my diet that I can't see is not good for me. Like for instance, if I were to say, and I don't eat donuts, but I'll use this as an example. So I don't eat a lot of donuts now, but I did once before in my life. I now can recognize that donuts are not good for me. But, you know, for you to say cream in my coffee, shit for me, I'm just not there. I don't see it as that. Right? Like to me, it's not a big deal.
here's the thing for me is like, I know that the cream in my coffee is not good, and I know that human beings have an allergen to dairy, and you know what I mean. But I still fucking love cheese and nachos and fucking, you know. I know that red meat gives us parasites in our guts, but I love steak and fucking, you know, and
Sure.
and bacon. Fuck
Sure.
I will,
So,
like I can't not eat bacon because like one of my favorite meals is a bacon egg sandwich with cheese on it.
So I rarely eat pork, but and I'm like you, I like bacon too, but I just eat it as like almost like a treat. And I'm not even kidding you when I say this, probably once every year or 2 years.
Holy fuck! I eat it once or twice every week. Every week,
But you know what I do?
actually every day almost.
I'll go to the butcher and get good bacon. Like I won't go and get like the bacon at
Safeway or
no
shit.
any of those commercial grocery stores. I'll go and get bacon that's like I'll make it special. You know what I mean? Like I'll
Yeah.
do something about it, and that suffices me. You know what I mean? And then that actually kind of teaches me a little bit of discipline, because I'm like, why would I fucking buy campfire bacon when I can go get like smoked bacon from my local butcher that I know is going to be way better than this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
it's probably way cheaper too, eh? Per pound.
$7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I look at it that way, and I'm not like, I don't want the bacon in the fucking like in a big chain grocery store. I just don't want that. Same thing with like my red meat. I will eat a steak once every 3 months. Most of my meat is white that I eat now. Fish, chicken, that's about it. Mostly what I eat. Crab sometimes, lobster, stuff like that. But my red meat intake is probably, like I said, once every 3 months. And I have been doing that for a while. But when I go buy a steak, I buy a really good steak. I don't buy, like I'll go and buy a $20 steak. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be a good cut of meat.
Yeah.
And I can see the difference in that. So that's how I've been playing with trying to infuse in my life some sort of discipline to where I get what I'm owed almost. You know, I've been waiting for so long that now I'll go buy a $20 fucking steak, and I'm going to have a really good steak meal. You know, I think recovery actually taught me that. You know, if you're going to do something and you're waiting for it, well, these are like we never slept for how long in our active addiction?
Years.
So I have one of the best beds ever in the fucking world. Best sheets, best linens. I'm just going to go upgrade my pillows. And why do I do that? Because I need that space to be the best place ever, because I went years without sleeping. Like fucking years, you know? And what was the first place that I ever really slept in? Some thin little bullshit mat that they give you in a fucking jail cell. You know, that was remember waking up and your body was so heavy, right?
Oh,
Because
my shoulders are still fucked
from like,
sleeping on those little mats.
yeah, like that. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So now I learned that you go the other way now. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way, in my opinion, that
I hear you, and I feel the same. Ish. like, I went for years. When I wanted to have, roast beef dinner, or I wanted to have some pho, and I couldn't. The closest thing I had was kimchi.
Yeah.
So now, like, I don't go a week without eating pho. And I wanted McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's how bad it is for you, it's like craving of those greasy, soggy fries dipped in McChicken sauce.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't, like I said, I had that one relapse. And, yeah, like I really don't get that. And the other thing, too, that I recognized as well in recovery was that if I kept on thinking about the shit that I wanted when I was in jail, I was still living in jail out here. And you know what taught me that was this. I was on bail for a long time. And I knew probably at the end of my bail, I was doing a serious federal fucking sentence. I knew that. So if I kept looking at where I just came out of and where I was going, I was going to fucking piss away the day. You know what I mean? So it really taught me to live in the moment. And I thought to myself in the moment, look at, I can't eat McDonald's or I can't do this every day because it's just not going to be good for my health. But I now know that I'm free. And because I'm free, I can always go to McDonald's. I don't have to go all the time.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing that I know it's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I stopped living, so to say, behind the wall. You know what I mean? Where it was like, well, yeah, but I deprived myself for so long. Yeah. You deprived, as in ED, past tense. Right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to go and live in an extreme today because of what you went through. Right? Because it's just not beneficial.
Yeah.
Right? So when I got, and you could do the same thing with drugs. Fuck, I deprived myself for how long on good cocaine in the joint.
Yeah.
Now that I'm out, fucking A.
Where's that good cocaine?
Exactly.
Back to jail.
Exactly. So it's one of those. I think that's where the contrast is with the diet and nutrition piece next to what we've learned in our recovery. Because it's the same chemicals that are being produced every time we go into those deep fucking waters of let's go relapse on McDonald's. It's the same shit that happens in our brain. Like before we go, we're thinking about it, we're craving it, we want it. Then we get there. It's like the pursuit too. And then as you're eating, you're like, yeah, it tastes great, but fuck. Like that's what it is. It's all this, like, you get the needle, you have the needle, you got the cooker, you put shit in the cooker, you throw your fucking, you throw your cigarette butt in there, the little bit of cotton, you fucking suck that shit up, and you're ready to rock and roll, and then right after it, you're like, fuck me. And that's the obsession. That's an obsession. That's not a goal-orientated way of living. That's obsession. Obsession will always give you that feeling at the end like, fuck. Fuck, I did it again. You know what I mean? So if you're getting that punchline at the end of your actions, you probably just lived out an addictive behavior, right? But back into the actual piece about ideology, have you noticed this influx with your friends, where friends will cut you off because they find out that you eat meat or whatever, and they're like, "Fuck you."
I don't have friends like that.
So
they would have cut me off a long time ago, and I just didn't even realize it. Like I don't cut friends off really unless they're really bad scumbags. But I just, I feel like I'm magnetic to a certain type of people, and the people that I'm magnetic to don't give a fuck about what I eat, other than as long as I'm not gorfing McDonald's 12 times a day and I take care of myself.
So I kind of, when I was living a vegan lifestyle, I had more friends that were vegan. Like I hung out at certain places and stuff. And now that I'm not, and I'll tell you, like I never wanted to be a vegan by choice. It was the doctor, and it was detrimental to me. Like I became depressed. I was lethargic. I couldn't get moving. And this is the fucked up thing. Like I tell people that and they're like, well, you must have did it wrong. Like it's me. Well, you did it wrong. I'm like, I had fucking money to live that lifestyle. I ate lagoons. I fucking ate nuts. I did what I had to do in order. Like I did it the right way.
Yeah.
I actually did research in it. If there's any, I mean, I'm pretty positive that the listeners know me well enough that I don't just go off on most things half cocked. I really looked down the fucking road, you know? Like, I didn't just say, fucking, I'm going to drink soy milk and eat rice for the rest of my life and throw tofu and shit. As a matter of fact, I ate very little tofu. Very little, because I just don't like the texture of it, okay?
I like deep fried tofu.
Of course you do. So when I recognized how detrimental it was to my energy level, I was like, fuck this, I'm going back to eating meat. And that was 2 years. I stuck it out for 2 years. And now that I'm back to eating meat and I have actual animal protein in my lifestyle again,
Yeah.
fuck, all those people that I knew from like the vegan world or whatever, like they fucking hate me. Because it's almost like they use you as like a prop. That's how I felt.
Yeah, you're fucking cannon fodder.
Exactly. That's what it, and that's how it feels. Like everybody in that social milieu, so to say, is like feeding off of each other. Like, see, we don't need to eat meat in order to survive. Like you want to see
Well,
the
hey,
most,
does a vegan swallow cum?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Really? Like, that's a question we need to ask them.
You could if you wanted. I mean,
You
by
might get a
all
charge
means.
out of it.
Yeah. like,
Are you still vegan if you swallow loads?
I also came to recognize too, when you walk away from that social milieu, that there's no going back. Like they.
No, now
it's
you're a disgusting meat eater.
pretty much. You know what I mean? Like it has nothing to do. And I have a vegetarian in my life right now, and they're only really a vegetarian not because of health benefits. They're a vegetarian because of the animal ideology. They just don't want to kill animals. Then that's it. That's basically it seems to me their prime motivation to be a vegetarian. And this there's been 2 people in my life who've been juvenile vegetarians to adulthood. Like they started when they were 7, 8 years old, and they've continued on almost to their 40s. Yeah.
I like eggs.
I love eggs, man.
Like when I was in the joint for a while, I went vegan for a little while and I went vegetarian for a little while.
Is that for a better diet though?
Just to switch it up.
Yeah.
Just to switch it up because I was so sick of the same shit.
Yeah.
But, the good thing that I like more about vegetarian than vegan is there's eggs.
So let me ask you this. For the amount of time that you did you know what a healthy diet was when you came out?
No.
So how did you go about figuring that out?
Bro science.
Really?
Yeah.
So like
Bro,
a lot of
don't you know that these chickpeas have lots of protein, bro?
Yeah.
That's it. Like I went in knowing what I knew, and when I got out in that time that I did educate myself on some diet stuff in our intestines, how we absorb food and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Then when I went back in, I was well more aware of it, and that was the time I was like, I'm going to go vegan in here, and I'm going to clean my soul.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And
Yeah. It's funny that
asshole and soul.
yeah. Yeah.
Play on words, haha.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys getting out of jail don't know what a healthy diet really looks like, because you're just given what you're given, and that's what you're eating.
Well, the whole jail system is counterproductive to all parts of society,
Sure.
including like the mental health, physical health, somebody's work ethic. Like, lock somebody in a cage for 5 years and expect them to go work a full-time job as soon as they get out. You got another thing coming, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. But I think in regards to the individual person, that's a huge detriment. As much as there's like all these educational programs in jail and stuff, they don't.
There's not that many. Like you can get your GED in a provincial system.
In a provincial system, but in the federal system, there is quite a bit of education that you can get. But the one thing that I notice is that it's not really to the individual person itself. It's like, go be a realtor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, you can't even be a realtor.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Well, you can depending on what you were charged with.
Like, here's some clippers and go get a job cutting hair.
And you can't do that. Like, you can't be a barber. You're not bondable. You can't be a barber being an ex-con in Canada.
That's crazy.
You have to be bonded. You can't get a bond. Like, you can't get a bondsman title. You have a criminal record. Like, anyways, my point is that they could be. See, one of the biggest things that I've started recognizing from professors today, when you go and talk about educational consulting or counseling, they like what you want to do for a living. Most of the thought today is stop looking at the job that you want to do, because pharmacists are going to be replaced by robots. Engineers will be replaced by robots. Okay. Most things that we do are going to be replaced by artificial intelligence and robots. That's just a simple fact. Instead, what they're saying is if you want a higher education, go think about what education you need to enrich your life. Stop looking at it as what the job is that you want out of it. Start looking at it as what is going to enrich your life in a personal way. So, for instance, when we have these guys sitting in jail, why are we not saying, look at when you get out, these might be the life skills that are appropriate, and not those bullshit life skills like where they make you fucking act out scenarios, because that's what we tend to do a lot here in Canada is we say, this is the scenario, act it out. And you have ex-convicts being like totally disingenuous because they need a fucking 90 in order to get early release. Like, it's a joke. Like, that's a joke. I mean, actual, like, this is a balanced diet. This is how you budget. This is how you save. This is how you retire. This is how, in the long run, you're going to make money, not in a quick way, but you're going to have freedom in like 15, 20 years if you do this correctly. Why are we not doing those kinds of things? And it all stems back to the diet piece. Why are we not enriching the individual? I mean, most people walking around, students who are going to university today, you're not going to university for a job. You're going to university to enrich your personal life. If you look at Laura, the biggest thing that I tip my hat off to her is she is really in a field that she loves. She's not doing it because there's a big money at the end of the day. You know, she's not going into becoming a lawyer. It's not a service industry that she is going into. She's going into an industry that's all about science, all about biomechanisms of the body and how we digest our food. And she loves that. And how much has it enriched her personal life? Tenfold. She knows so much more about how her body operates, digests, and why she lives more of a plant-based diet than anything else, because she really used that education to become in tune with her body. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. And I mean, it's beautiful that she's able to afford the opportunity to do that, you know? And that's really, I think, the big break in the education system.
Well, even like when we had that conversation with her about gut health versus mental health.
Yeah.
And, you know, if our mental health is directly and powerfully affected by the toxins in our guts, why aren't we feeding our prisoners healthy food so they don't get out more fucked up in the head than when they went in?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
If the science backs it...
100%. I mean, I guess... On the government's end, if I were to play devil's advocate,
it costs too much money.
It's money, and they don't. It's a hard buy-in for them to understand that because it's new science.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the other piece to it. Right. So I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of bullshit that I think kind of fits around that ideology of diet. Do you have anybody in your life now that is an ideological diet person? And how do you deal?
Oh, my brother right now, he's like, yeah, I'm going keto. Because his big thing is he sit down and he would eat a stack of pancakes 12 inches high.
Yeah, yeah.
And not like little skinny pancakes, those big fluffy pancakes.
Yeah.
And he's starting to get pretty fat. So when he told me this, I'm like, cool. I just left it at that. Like, I didn't go into too much detail. Let him do his own research and, hit whatever brick walls he has, or I don't know. I recommended to him, go get your guts flushed out. Start from scratch again, because right now, like, something might not be getting digested properly. You know what I mean? And also, too, he was kind of like depressed and angry too. And I'm like, well, maybe you should clean that up with doing good things in your life and detox your body and help out other people. It might help with your mental health a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good. I'm on the keto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's that old like, oh, I'm fat because I eat, and then I eat and I get depressed, and I'm depressed, so I eat some more, so I'm happy, and then it just makes me more fat, and it's a vicious circle.
I've actually come to understand that I'm not drinking enough water. For sure.
Yeah.
From cutting weight, I did learn that if I'm not sleeping well at night, it's because I've cut too much and there's too much water gone. And if my hydration level is low, I'm not going to sleep very well at night.
Do you get I get restless leg syndrome sometimes where my legs are like twitching, like kicking, twitching.
Mm-hmm. That could be water.
Probably.
Do you also get like foot cramps?
Once in a while, yeah.
At night?
Yeah.
Or calf cramps at night? That's because you're not drinking enough water.
Okay.
The other thing, too, is I've also started putting melatonin and magnesium back in my diet.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I had a rough night last night. I was up late. That's because I was trying to cram as much water as I could in before going to sleep. And you have to have a lot of water throughout the day as opposed to like jamming it all in.
Yeah.
And I can also tell that water is bad when I'm carb loading. And I've actually switched. I've noticed a huge difference switching all my pastas to gluten-free. Huge difference.
In what?
Well, in the fact that I don't, remember I was always suffering from a bad back? My back was always sore, right? Mm-hmm. That inflammation's gone now. And I'm not,
You're celiac.
Well, I could be. I mean, I don't know. So that brings us to this next point about getting our blood work done. I that's my big goal this week is to get the doctor to give me it. And that's the issue with the Canadian medical system or the Canadian health system. To go and ask them, there needs to be an issue of warranted. Why is it warranted? And it's like, well, fuck, I don't care why it's warranted. I want to know the information of what's my estrogen level? What's my testosterone level? What's the fucking vitamins that I'm depleted of? What's the vitamins that are good?
Yeah.
Because really, if there's anything that's preemptive in Canada, it's the fact that we could go get free blood work done. In America, that shit costs an arm and a leg. Here in Canada, it's pretty well fucking free. So if we can go and get our blood work done from the doctor, get your requisition, and they suck out a couple fucking tubes of blood out of you. Next thing you know what your vitamin level is, what your fat level is, all of that through just the blood work in itself, which is a huge piece. Like I kept saying, I think the biggest thing that I'm missing in this whole entire thing is the education of myself. That is the individual education, not the shit that you and I can share. It's because you're different than I am, but the stuff that Kenny needs for Kenny. What is the fucking makeup? What is your blood telling you that you're missing in your vitamins? What's your blood telling you about your fat level and your cholesterol level? What's your blood telling you about your hormonal issues in your body? Your body is going to tell you what it is just by getting a couple vials of blood taken out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's a big piece because when I do...
So here, how before you go to blood work, they have this checklist. Can we just check all of it? We don't check it. The doctor does.
So actually what I'm going to do, and I'm going to bring this back to the podcast when we do the wrap up next week, is so I'm going to go in and say, look, I'm obese and I'm having a real issue dropping weight. I can fluctuate 4 to 5 keys back and forth, right? I'm getting toner. I've for sure lost a lot of weight up in my chest. I can feel it in my stomach, and my legs have for sure gotten smaller than what they were. But I'm not showing any difference in the weight. So my point is I want my blood work done so that I can see if, like, fuck, maybe I am diabetic. I don't know. Like, I don't know. The blood work will tell me that. If it means that they have to take 5 fucking vials of blood out of me, take 5 vials of blood out of me. Because it's probably pretty important. You know what I mean? Like, these are preemptive measures. And if there's any beef I have with the Canadian Medical Association or doctors in general, they're not there for preemptive measures. They're there to say, this is broken, here's the meds to fix it.
No, not to fix it, just to
keep you going.
Keep you alive
you
while
know
your problem persists.
So are you going to try to get blood work done this week?
Well, I actually have a doctor's appointment Thursday at 6:10. I was just texting my girlfriend to see.
Yeah.
So 6:10. Just because, like, I was in there, I had that talc lung, right?
Yeah.
Which wasn't talc lung. It was just Passover of pneumonia from my kid.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But hey, yo, so the other day when I was in rough shape and I came here for the show with Shane,
Yeah.
I forgot my phone that day and I had to run back home and I was like half a block away.
Yeah.
That fucking half a block did me in.
Killed you.
Killed me. I literally was coughing for like 20 minutes, sweating my balls off. I had to call a cab to come to the studio. And
you ever do cardio where it was so intense you like have to you almost shit your pants trying to get to the toilet?
no.
No, me neither.
Yeah, you're rolling of the eyes.
Yeah. Me neither.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
That's never happened. I mean, they call it runner's trot for a reason.
Runner's trot. It just trots down your leg.
Yeah, pretty much. Just little blobs.
If you just wear short shorts and no undies, then you're good. You don't even. You just keep running.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, that's a clean out, right? That's almost a colonic.
So,
anyways, yeah, it killed you. You had to get a cab.
yeah.
Come to
Okay.
the
Well,
studio.
today, like, so I went to the doctor's and he's like, yeah, here's antibiotics. Take 5. I had 5 pills to take.
Yeah.
2 the first day and then 1 for 4 consecutive days after that.
Did it make you feel like you were getting over the drip? Here, just take these little bit of meds. It'll be gone.
Well, yeah, it seemed like a small amount to me. And, like, I'm really skeptical when it comes to antibiotics and everything. And, like, I've seen people abuse antibiotics and, you know, keep old antibiotics. And next time they're starting to get a little cold, they're eating these antibiotics again. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, right? And so I'm waiting until it's done, which I took my last one today. And I do feel a lot better. Like, I actually got up this morning, did a little bit of research, and then I went for a quick jog. And that was like my first attempt at physical activity in the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I only made it like 4.5 blocks.
Yeah.
But I made it with
Yeah.
right. And then I still coughing a bit, but you know, I feel like it's coming back.
And then
So I have to go in for Thursday so he could check me out again, listen to my lungs.
yeah.
And when I go in, I'm going to ask about getting the blood work done. And I'm also going to, ask about, not just my organs and how they're functioning, but like what are all the levels of everything in my body? Like you said, the minerals and nutrients. And I want to know like what my fucking DNA requires for my diet.
Yeah, we'll do a reach out to a DNA company and see if they get back to us. We won't say any names just in case they don't, because they've been reaching out for a little while.
Yeah, okay.
You know, we'll see what happens with that. Let's jump over to supplements. So I think we're both down to try to get our blood work done, and we will update next week before we wrap up this.
Yeah, see, I thought we were going for a DNA test, but I guess that's not what it is. You went prior to me.
Well, we'll get into that next week.
Okay.
Because you're going in.
I go on the 26th for this mystery diet
this thing.
thing.
It's you'll see. I'm just not saying anything because I want you to go in like blank.
Yeah. You're good at leaving me blank.
So supplements. Right now I'm on the Muscle Tech Nitro fucking ripped. Liking it. I like it a lot. I've never really done whey products or protein before, and I see the advantage of this, and I also see the advantage of creatine. Putting creatine in the system, my brain feels better. I feel cleaner in the head when I can actually concentrate reading. It doesn't, like, before I could get through maybe 50 pages in my fucking mind would wander. If I actually
50?
Yeah, like if I can actually
If I
sit
get
down.
through 5 lines without wandering, I'm good.
You should try creatine.
Huh.
I'm serious. Now that I'm clean and sober,
Yeah.
I think like all this shit actually fucking works. You know what I mean? Like it actually makes sense. So yeah, the creatine that's just even in the shit that I'm using right now is good. And I'll probably back it up with more creatine. I really like this stuff. Before it was on the 6-star protein shake from Walmart.
Yeah.
I felt that too. Like that actually, like the rehab that my muscles went through, like, you know how you feel the rip when you're lifting or whatever?
Yeah.
And then the next day you're like, oh my God, like I'm so sore still, fucking stupid squats or whatever. Gone, man. I don't even feel that anymore. And I'm not saying like I work out light. I don't work out to kill myself anymore, but I still work out pretty. Like it's it's Kettlebell Keith's fucking circuit. Like it's a killer circuit for the warm up, and then I go in and lift on machines. And the only reason why I'm lifting on machines right now is because free weights, I'm too lumpy and off weight to like have good form to do that. So I actually end up hurting myself.
Yeah, because you haven't fucking bring me to the gym with you yet, so I can show you what to do.
Yeah, okay.
I went to school for it.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck you.
So back to the supplements thing. You were talking about, what were you talking about that you were going to look into?
I'm going to check out some anabolic steroids. I'm going to look into some Winstrol.
Yeah.
Just because, like, from what I've read on it, it is the least fuck-withable.
Yeah, it doesn't take, you won't need Viagra, is what you're getting at.
Yeah, so most steroids, they shut off your production of your testosterone. So it shuts your balls off because you're putting this artificial testosterone in your body, so your balls don't need to produce its own.
Yeah.
So it shuts your balls off.
Yeah, that's why I've never done steroids. Like,
yeah, so like I'm interested in Winstrol. Like I have done steroids in the past, like really unhealthily though.
Yeah.
Not proper. And I did do testosterone. But I was doing testosterone and steroids and drinking and doing cocaine, the whole nines, right? So
did you see yourself get bigger though, even though you're doing it dirty?
yeah, not as big as I could have gotten, but I definitely did see results. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, even when you go for your blood work, though, you can bring up to the doctor if your estrogen level is low that you may
Like,
get
test.
real TRT, right?
Yeah, it'd be nice if it happened that way. I wonder if my benefits would cover it, you know. Thanks, Alberta.
I mean, probably, you know, it's not even that expensive TRT, and like from pharmaceutical grade, I think in Canada it's only like $25. That's all it is. Like it's pretty fucking nominal, really.
I hear guys getting HGH from the doctor too.
HDH or HGH?
Human growth hormone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pharmaceutical grade human growth hormone.
Yeah.
But I heard it's like $1,000 a month.
Maybe. Sounds strange to me, but maybe. I mean, so even in supplements, I looked into Elysium,
Yeah.
which is an NAD. It's an NAD supplement. So it basically rehabs you faster through your telemeters and shit. And that's basic. It almost acts, when you look at what it does in the body, it almost acts, it seems to me it acts like a human growth hormone. And your recovery time is like fucking at a whole other level. I haven't done it for $50 a month though. I'm really looking into that Elysium product. It seems to me like it's a good product. It doesn't look so detrimental, and I'm willing to give that a shot depending on what my blood work looks like. I mean,
apparently NAD it improves insulin sensitivity.
Yeah.
It improves your neuroprotection. It improves genome production. It improves sirtuin activation. I have no fucking idea what sirtuin is. Improves energy metabolism. Improves stress resistance.
Yeah. So that's what basically this. So the stress resistance that they're talking about is not a mental stress resistance. It's a stress resistance within the muscle. So like you can push a little further, 5 pounds, 2 pounds, whatever it might be, right? That's the understanding that I have when I looked into the Elysium supplements.
Apparently it can impact your stem cells.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like it's and it's like a compound of like B3 and a bunch of other shit that gets into your system, right?
Nicotinamide.
So it's nicotine. That's what it is. It's nicotine. And then there's niacin.
Nicotinamide riboside.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a go after I look at my blood work and see what my blood work says. I feel like I almost should have started with that at the beginning of this fucking month, as opposed to like. But you know what though? I think that there is a huge piece to that spiritual stuff that we looked at about our diet and nutrition. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you actually read the blog about the amends that I made to myself.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty big step, I think, in regards to saying, okay, let's really learn about you now. You know what I mean? Like let's see where the fuck you're at, Well,
yeah, like our life is composed of so many weighing factors, and our health is very important, man. Like, everything else will fall apart if we don't have good health.
Well, it's funny. We take that for such an
for granted.
Yeah, like it's yeah. Like older people always say, "Be grateful that you have your health," and we young people are like, "Yeah, well, it's okay, I guess."
I don't know what the fuck that means when you're younger, right?
And then the other piece to it, like being obese, knowing that diabetes is a real issue in my family. I look at that and I'm like, Jesus, crying out loud, man. Like, I really have to start preemptive measures now. And this is why.
Back in the day, you'd think it's hereditary, but really, it's not that hereditary. It's your diet has been passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah, and that's with most diseases as well.
Yeah.
Cancer included.
When we were looking at those podcasts over this week, and that's exactly what Dr. Rhonda Patrick said. You know what I mean? It's hereditary through what's being taught. So it's almost like we talked about nature, nurture, right? And there's a hereditary in nurture. As much as there's a hereditary in nature, there's also a hereditary in nurture. I mean, all of a sudden that like the best way of getting a fucking high energy source is carbohydrates. And you probably come from a poor family. You know what I mean? You're like middle class or less than. Yet, if you come from a higher class, you realize that fats and meats will produce you longer amounts of energy for less in your diet. Yet you still need carbohydrates in your diet, but you need very little of it. So like, yeah, that whole nurture does become a piece of your hereditary for sure.
All this shit I had to learn on my own, and it wasn't taught to me by my parents. My parents don't know fuck all about diet and nutrition.
Well,
they don't fuck all. Like, why are we eating roast beef and Yorkshire pudding and stuff like that?
Because it's good.
Because it's good, and this is a good meal. You should be fucking thankful for it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I am thankful, and I like it too. I fucking love Yorkshire pudding, like,
yeah.
But when you start looking at the science behind, gut health, and the amount of like red meat I was eating, and like the shitty red meat too, like I grew up on fucking ground beef. Mm-hmm. And no wonder when I got my asshole flushed when I got colon hydrotherapy that tapeworms came out. I grew up on fucking ground beef.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But it's also one of the cheapest protein meats.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think that's the fault too, is we talk about mass marketing and the agenda, so to say, of those global elites or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I don't even know if it's so much that. I think it's one of these things where, and this might get pretty crazy, but it's kind of my thinking is you need to keep morale in the slaves so that they keep on working for you. See, one of the biggest things that I recognized when I became a geomatic engineer is I didn't have to wear work boots anymore. And my entire life, I looked at work boots as the poor man, slave man's shackles. It's always how I looked at it. Okay? Like, why do I have to wear these heavy fucking boots? Why? Because it protect my feet? How is it going to protect my feet any more than any other foot? I get a fucking nail in the foot. I get a nail in the foot. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, it's not really. And then you wear these stupid things in the fucking cold and you lose toes because of it. You know what I mean? Because it's so fucking cold. So that was always my thought. And then it's like you're not going to tell me that the government doesn't know. When you do your income taxes, they know exactly how much money you spend, where you spend it, and where it's going and what it's going on. They know that as soon as you do your taxes. They know that your food bill is about this much a year within a spectrum. They know that you're over $45,000 a year, so you've probably qualified for a mortgage and you have a mortgage, and this is how much your taxes are, and they know all of that. And in the same breath, they also know how to put together the Canadian Food Guide that's best and more beneficial in a way that allows the richer to live in like Planet Organic or to live at Bush Lanes. Because it takes, and this is pure economy or economics, it takes 9 people, middle class and less, for one rich person to afford their lifestyle. So it's 9 to 1, right? I mean, statistics prove that only 5% of our society retires. And then another 5%, another 10% retires with a part-time job. And 85% of our society will never retire. So diet is exactly that benchmark, I think, of what society is itself. I mean, you and I are not going to Planet Organic or fucking Bush Mills to go buy our groceries. That would be very, very expensive for us to do. Or even a farmer's market. As much as I would love to go to a farmer's market, I'm selective of what I'm buying for my buying power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. You get some deals at the farmer's market, but sometimes it's still pretty pricey.
That's right. But it's probably closer to organic.
Ish.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Well, Jeff spoiled.
Shane.
No, Jeff.
Okay.
The photographer. He broke that, saying that he couldn't they couldn't call the farmer's market
always fresh. Yeah.
Or organic because it's not. Some of the shit's shipped in.
Yeah.
You know, so like you have to watch that as well. You know, like I think, you know, the scale of the income that you're making almost dictates the kind of diet that you're going to have, you know, and the kind of life you're going to be able to provide for your offspring and try to give them that education, you know. And again, I think it's that hereditary nurture that's kind of passed on throughout time. Like, I would suspect people who are in the wealthy 1% of our society don't understand why they eat what they eat, really. You know what I mean? I would suspect, the only people who really understand we eat what we eat are those who are in the health world. You know?
I heard, have you heard anything of this? That the elite powers like ingest gold?
Maybe.
I heard that they have remember like Goldschlager, that alcohol used to come with gold flakes in it? Well, like colloidal gold or colloidal silver, right? You ingest that. Yeah. And it, you know, they say it'll cure flu or colds or inflammation or something. They say
it's alchemy into the body, right? That's what that is.
Yeah,
so you're like
parts per million.
Yeah, like you're on the line of like Aleister Crowley. That's kind of the stuff that he did.
Placebo shit.
Well, I don't know if it's a placebo as much as like, do you believe it or not?
Well, yeah,
so
placebo,
like,
right?
Yeah, so like back to the whole supplement and stomach issue stuff. I was told a bunch of stuff just recently that it just doesn't fit to who I am. So like the whole stomach issues, I probably have stomach issues, but do I have stomach issues in regards to like, what am I eating? Or do I have stomach issues because I'm not making my metabolism work right now? I mean, that's a big question. If you eat the same shit over and over again, I don't mean shitty food. I just mean the same kinds of foods over and over again, your metabolism is going to be like,
Yeah.
joke. This is a joke. Like, give me a challenge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So is it that I'm having stomach issues because my financial situation dictates that I'm only eating this cycle of food? Or am I actually having a biochemical issue with my stomach? I don't know. And the only way to know that is by an elimination diet. You start taking this out, you start taking that out, you put that back in, you put this thing back in, not with this, and then you start mixing your food around, and you'll actually see what's good for you, what's not good for you. And I mean, that's been proven well for me in the past to know like what I need to put in my diet, what I need to like keep out of my diet, and all of that. The bitch about it is keeping track of what you have in your fridge. It's almost taking a fucking inventory and then saying I can eat this, but I'm not going to eat that for about a week, and then see what happens. Right?
Yeah, fuck. That's why I never got into like an actual diet or meal plan. Is like I don't like planning more than fucking 2 days in advance.
Yeah.
You know, if I have a special event coming, I'll throw it in my calendar, but I don't plan the hours of my day. I live kind of spontaneously, and I like to keep things open so I can capitalize on good opportunities when they come. But at the same time, I still need to stay busy and consistent enough to be productive and creative. But, you know, if I'm spending how many hours a day planning, cooking, packaging, bagging, organizing, just for fucking food, for fuck's sake.
So I guess I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is look in your fridge, see what's there, and see what you're not going to eat for the week. Write it down, and then in the next week, reintroduce it. That's literally what it is. I mean, it would be like looking into your fridge and taking an inventory. That's literally what it would be. And then saying, okay, I'm not going to eat broccoli this week. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with my metabolism this week without broccoli. Let's see what my metabolism is by just getting egg protein as opposed to eating chicken. You know what I mean? And what is it? It's 4 or 5 days, right? That's how long it'll take for your metabolism to cycle through. I'm not one of those people either that's going to sit there and boil or fucking cook 6, 7 chickens, break that shit down, put it. I mean, that's just not me. And then the other piece, so the other thing too that we can look at is like Jeff was saying how intermittent fasting is bad, so on and so forth. Shane. So Shane had said that, and then when you listen to what Dr. Rhonda Patrick was saying was the benefits of fasting and what it does. I mean, the biggest thing that I took away from both of those conversations was you have to look at the vehicle that they're using to get what they want out of their body.
Yeah, so like Shane doesn't like intermittent fasting because it takes away from his muscle mass.
That's right.
And Rhonda is obviously not after building muscle mass.
Yeah, she's a cardio freak.
She wants to stay healthy and fit.
Yeah.
And she is.
Yeah, but her big thing is she's a cardio freak. Like she does triathlons. She does that fucking you ever see that ultimate marathon running shit? Where people are running like 100 hours through the mountains?
No.
It's fucking crazy, man. Like it's not even like the hours. It's like the miles. So they'll run. I think there's one where they did some crazy godly thing like 200 miles. And
what?
Night and day they just run through the fucking mountains, man. It's a loop. It's like these like NORAB. Go look up NORAB. It'll fucking blow your mind away.
NORAB.
Yeah. NORAB. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy what those and that's the kind of stuff that she does. So I think it's the vehicle that your diet is in order to get what you want out of it. And that's why I started off the month saying I want to know what the healthiest diet is for me. I don't give a fuck what the fat is. I don't give a shit if it's vegan or keto or paleo or whatever the fuck it is. All I know is that I want to find out what works for me. What is it that I need to find? Because that's the real quest that I can attach and say to myself, look, this is the lifestyle that fits the best for what you are. And I think the biggest loop that I really walked over was getting my blood work done. Let's see what I'm deficient in. And let's see, maybe I do need vitamins. I don't take vitamins at all. I'll take a B12 shot every once in a while if I'm feeling lethargic. A little drop under the tongue, fucking off I go. That's it. But other than that, I don't know if my B3 is low. I don't know what the science of my body is saying.
I think I injected vitamin B before.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Intramuscular.
Yeah. And that's an awakening in itself.
It felt like almost like I did a smash of meth.
Yeah.
Like right away I got real horny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I like B12 quite a bit, but like I said, I only use it when I'm feeling lethargic. Let's go here. Doctors or homeopathy?
Wait a sec. Back to intermittent fasting, just one quick sec.
Yeah.
When I was watching Rhonda Patrick about intermittent fasting, I also compared it to like Jim Stepani. And he's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And he's a bodybuilder and like a high-end trainer for like celebrities.
Yeah.
And you can catch him on YouTube. He's all bald. He's bald. He's all tattied up. And he's in great fucking shape. But he intermittent fasting, he swears by it. And he says, and he also does full body workouts.
Yeah.
With the intermittent fasting and the full body workouts, he says that the full body workout, because you hit the same muscle every day, just in different techniques, right?
Yeah.
That it stimulates the production of your natural growth hormone.
So I've heard that too, right? So that's why so I don't intermittent fast for health benefits. I intermittent fast for religious reasons.
And Rhonda Patrick, she taught me that, lots of people believe that like if you have a black coffee in the morning that you're still fasting. And that's how I used to believe it as well. But I wasn't getting that good of results. Like I intermittent fast last summer. And I was pretty shredded last summer. But I was also riding my bike like fucking 10 kilometers minimum a day.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I think the other thing too, when you're looking at intermittent fasting, is you don't want to go into the deep end right away and go 18 hours of fasting and 8 hours of exposure time. Because if you do that, you're probably not going to make the 18 hours of fasting.
It's hard.
So you want to go like something like 8, 10, 12, 14 for a while, then look at 16, then look at 18.
I find 12 hours easy. Like if you cut it off, like, because I like to eat closer to bed. So I cut off at like 9 or 10 and then not eat till 9 or 10 the next day. That's not that bad. But as soon as you, like those extra 4 hours.
Yeah.
Or 6 hours.
Yeah.
That's tough. Like for me, it's like, because if I stopped eating at 10 o'clock and then 10 is 12 hours again, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, I'm not eating until fucking 4 o'clock.
I think, and I've said this before, when I intermittent fast, I like doing cardio fasted. I don't mind that. I have a real hard time lifting fasted, though.
And Stepani, he said, like, if you are working out in a fasted state, like, yes, you may be burning extra fat in that workout, but your body will go into, like, a stress state, and you'll start storing fat.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking stressed out. You're starving and you're working your ass off.
Yeah. So I like everything you kind of, again, you have to bring it down to that breakdown mode. Like I was talking about the inventory of your fridge, right? You want to try it 1 week this way, next week that way. And I would suspect that if you dedicate yourself to that, you're going to learn more about your body, because as much as anybody's saying anything, the likelihood is that you may be completely different than what they're saying, but at least now you know it.
Yeah.
You know how to like tweak what it is that they've given you in order for you to really understand it on your own individual level, you know? So I wouldn't dedicate myself to anything more than 7 days and see and write down what the results are.
I think it'd be hard to like see the results in 7 days. I think like in a 60 or 90-day trial period for anything to get like, you know, to see physical results, to really feel the results. And like while you're trying something out, like journal it. So you can like look back
for sure.
on it.
That's what I mean. Like for sure write it down.
Yeah.
I think the 7 day threshold for me is depending on how extreme the change is going to be from what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because the more extreme from my experience,
the harder it will be to commit to it.
Not even so much the commitment piece. I think you're going to see results fairly quickly depending on how extreme it is, negative or positive, right? And if there's anything that I've recognized is if you're getting negative results in the forefront right away, nothing's going to be great after that. like it's
it's going to get worse before it gets better, though.
Well, so they say. But my point is that like, yeah, I'm not about to say, well, I'm just gonna fucking push through this. But the likelihood is your body just doesn't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
And so don't resist what your body wants. Your body wants what the best your body can give you.
My body wants
You know what I mean?
pho right now.
You know, like that's that's what your body's always trying to do is look into a place, or I think your body's always trying to be in a place where it wants to give you the best results it possibly can. The issue is your mind says that fucking hamburger at McDonald's is really good. Your mind says that. Your body's not saying that, because the second you put that shit in your body's like, fuck, I'm thirsty. Boy, that was a lot of salt.
So
and it's like
Coca-Cola would be good.
Exactly. And then next thing you know, it's like your body's like, fuck, we need to shit this out right now. And it doesn't even come out like anything that's anything good. It just looks like a
broken shower head.
It looks like and what you're looking at in the bowl is just like a fucked up thing of Picasso when he was high. You know what I mean? Is what it looks like in the bowl. You're just like, oh my God, that's what the fuck is that? You're trying to figure out the art. You know, like it's pretty shitty, literally.
Pretty shitty. Holy fuck.
So let's talk about doctors or homeopathy.
Homeopathy until. Oh fuck. Okay.
That's a hard one, right?
Yeah. So like, homeopathy way of life. Homeopathic way of life.
But is that like a placebo living?
For preventative measures. Because, you know, regular Western medicine doesn't teach us preventative measures.
Okay, but that being said, Eastern going to
Western
look at our blood work, that's Western medicine.
Okay. So we're going to look at our blood work
to see what the science says behind it.
Because obviously it's not ideal. Where we're at right now is not ideal. But if we were to study more homeopathic lifestyles and follow those lifestyles, maybe we wouldn't be in the position that we're in right now, not being at ideal health. I'm saying, like, I like to learn as much as I can about homeopathic remedies and stuff like that. Like, that's where we got the H2O2 shit from. And I know when I'm on 2 drops of H2O2 a day, like, I didn't get sick for like a year and a half. Okay. And then, you know, I start fucking slacking, for lack of a better term, in my discipline. And then I got sick. Mm-hmm. You know, and then when I researched that, you know, big Google search, big YouTube search, heavy duty research, buddy. Mm-hmm. That was sarcastic. But I watched videos on YouTube, like several of them, about people doing it and getting very, very good results. Boom. That's enough to convince me. I'm easily convinced. I'm going to try it out. And it worked for me. Mm-hmm. Now, if I learned that as a kid from my parents, maybe I wouldn't have had asthma.
Maybe.
From the extra oxygen in the system. You know?
Maybe. I mean, maybe. I can't say. But what I guess where I'm measuring is I see the body as a chemical. and it's a mixture of chemical and molecular structure. I don't really see it as, and I agree that there's a spiritual, like a spiritual piece within the body. I agree with that. But I don't know. I'm skeptical to say that the placebo effect always works, because it seems to me, and I may be wrong, that homeopathy sides on the side of placebo effect. Like, it's kind of that's kind of concerning to me. And it's on the premise of, well, there must be already something fucked up with you in order for you to be sitting here. I mean, the reality is the only reason why I'm going to go get blood work is I don't know if there's something wrong. That's the only reason why I'm getting blood work done. Because the way how I feel right now, I am losing weight to a degree. I don't know why I'm not breaking a threshold. Maybe it's a plateau in the gym. I don't know. But what I know is mentally I feel good. My cycle and me going into like the bathroom and all of that, like my metabolism seems to be okay. Like I don't have any issues there. I don't have the shakes. I can actually fast without going into a place of shakes. So I used to go hypoglycemic all of the time in the early days of my fasting, like all of the time. And when you start getting the shakes because of fasting, you are probably hypoglycemic. It's probably a reality for you. You're on the way to diabetes. I don't have that anymore. So I do feel better than I have. I can feel the supplements that I'm taking work. I can see positive benefits from it. So like I said, I'm not going into this thinking or acknowledging really that there's something wrong. Because the only thing that's wrong is it's not as fast as I want it to be. That's the reality in my own head. So really what I'm going in is I want to see is there a vitamin deficiency? I don't know. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm not going into the doctor saying I'm fucking sick, because I'm not really sick. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's the difference. Most of us go, like you and I, going into the doctor saying, I want my blood work done to see if there's any preemptive things that I can do. The doctor, I mean, I'm telling you right now, we're probably going to have to bullshit and lie. Because in the Canadian system, they're not going to give you a fucking test to see what's wrong. They give you a test because there's something wrong.
Something's just wrong with me.
So that's the story you have to play. But the reality is I'm not going in there because there's something wrong. I mean, but obesity is wrong. So and I'm going to say this flat out, any of you fat fucks that are out there that are trying, like, say that fat is beautiful, fat is not beautiful. Fat is shitty. And the reason why fat is shitty is because you're fucking killing yourself. Get off of the fucking shit food, put down the fork, get to the fucking gym and do something. Because especially in this Canadian healthcare system, you guys down in the States, you really want a social fucking healthcare system? This is the reality. Get your fucking life in check then. Get your fucking health on the right path. Because the reality is the fucking social medical system isn't helping you. And it'll be a detriment to your fucking society if you are 40% obese. I mean, Canada's at a 33% obese, and it's worse than the fucking drug epidemic right now. Nobody's talking about obesity in Canada. You know, in Canada, they actually changed the threshold of obesity on the BMI because most people were over into the fucking obesity 1 type. It's fucking crazy. They just changed the goalposts. They didn't say like,
kind of like how they measure homelessness.
Like it's crazy. They just no, it can't be that bad. Well, we'll just change it. We'll tweak it a little bit. What in the fuck, man? You know, instead of going out there and figuring out how to do preemptive fucking, how do we get good produce, good meat to the people of Canada in an affordable way? We say, fuck it. All those people who are, you know, making less than $40,000 a year, we're just going to still feed them the same shit and we'll make them believe that they're not obese when they're really in the bottom end of fucking type 1 obesity. That's what they did. You know, and I'm not saying that it's fun saying that anybody's obese, but the fact of the matter is it's a fucking medical term and it's a reality. Fat is not beautiful. Fat is a detriment to our fucking healthcare system, just like your addiction is. If you're a fucking drug addict and you decide not to get help, well, I'm sorry, man. You know, there's, I mean, it is what it is. If you don't want to get treatment and you want to be antisocial and all that stuff, well, don't come crying for fucking help. It's not the state's obligation to enable your fucking addiction. That's flat out. That's my opinion, and I'll stick by that. I don't believe that it's the state's obligation to endorse shitty, healthy lifestyles. You know, it's a pretty sad fucking fact in Canada that you and I pretty well have to lie in order to get our blood type done or our blood work done so that we can find out what our preemptive issues are if there is any. That in Canada should be like, fucking go find out so that you don't become some fat obese fuck it that is like
Costing
fucking
us more money.
That's right. Because this is the collective in Canada. We want our fucking healthcare system to be better. We can't look at the doctors and say, give me a cancer treatment. We need to look at the doctors and say, how do I not get cancer? How do I not get diabetes?
Yeah, but still, like, the pharmaceutical profits.
Regardless, though, when you put the state in responsibility of disseminating that information, it's cheaper on the taxpayers. We elected those people. We didn't elect the pharmacy company. We elected the officials that are in office to give us the mandates of how to live a healthier life.
Yeah, but that hasn't worked this far.
Because social health care sucks. That's the reality. Like I said, they won't do a damn thing. They won't do a damn thing unless it's broken. Like I said, when you and I go into the doctor, are you going to say, well, I just want blood work done because I want... No, I have to say I want blood work done because I'm obese and I can't fucking lose weight. Tell me what... I need my blood work to tell me what the fuck's going on here.
Yeah.
But that's not the reality. I know I will beat this obesity. I'm starting to see gains. I just want to see what the fuck I'm missing.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm missing anything... You see, it's a manipulative game, and it's not something that I really want to play, but that's the only way that we're going to get what is necessary for us to have education about ourselves. It's fucked up. You know, and that's why I have and then I look at the homeopathy side, and I look at the like some of it, I'm not saying all of them are this way, but then it's like, you know, you go there, and again, you have to be a sick person. A sick person's very, very easily convinced. You know, oh, I've got the remedy for you. Like, fuck you do. What do you got? Like, come on. I mean, you might have something. Maybe there is a cure there. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is the person may not be in good health, and that's the assumption right off the bat, is that you're not healthy. Well, you know, fat isn't good. I agree. The way that I look right now is not the optimal ideology of what health is. But for me in this moment, this is the healthiest I've been, and I'm continuing to go down a path where I will be in better shape. I mean, I was with our friend Mike yesterday. Mike was literally trying to play the guessing game of my weight, and he's like, what? You're fucking 105 kilos at least? Like, no. I'm like 133.7 right now. So for Americans, I'm close to 300 pounds. But you look at me, yeah, he was guessing maybe 220, 235. And I don't think Mike's going to bullshit me to give me a fucking, you know, a feel-good verbal blowjob. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what he's doing. Most people can't guess my weight. Like even close. They're usually off by 20, 30 pounds. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing. No matter what, I'm still overweight. The fact of the matter is, though, is when you go to these places, they just assume right away that you're going in because there's something wrong. Well, maybe there's not anything wrong. I just want to see what the fuck kind of information you're going to provide me. That's it. And to me, that's an unbiased like canvas. You know, you're just walking in white. You know, like, fuck, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Clear, you know, just blank slate. But when you're approached in the way of, well, there's got to be something wrong. What the fuck, man? Why? Because I look overweight? Why? Because what? Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Well, this thing says, Yeah, well, your thing can say anything it wants to say. You know what I mean? Like, fucking my blood ain't gonna lie to me. You know, like your test, the test that they put our blood through is not gonna lie. Science is science for the most part. You know, the like interpretation of the information. The reason, so we could talk about patenting. So patenting means you have to come up with the same solution all of the time, or very, very similar to that. That's the only way you can get something patented. Okay.
Yeah.
When somebody says that their thing isn't patented, it's because it doesn't come up with the same solution every time. It may be pretty fucking close, but it can't come up with the same thing over and over again. So, for instance, your compass is not patented. Any compass is not patented because it will never come up with true north to an accuracy of anything less than fucking 30 minutes within a degree. It's just not. You don't have anything that fucking accurate.
Yeah.
Even a transit that we use in the survey field is not patented because you can't come up to true north in anything less than 15 seconds. That's the threshold. The threshold is like 2 seconds within a fucking minute of a degree. So when we're talking about science and health, guess what? When they take your fucking blood, they do the test that they do, and the data that comes out of it will be the same fucking thing over and over and over again. They could test your blood 50 times, and it will come up with the same exact fucking thing. The day to day doesn't matter when you're working with science and the science of the blood or the science of your DNA. Tomorrow, it's not going to change. Not unless you lose 120 pounds. Then it might fucking change because that's a huge change on your body.
Well, also, like, I believe in energy and the effects that, like, our feelings and our intentions have on the production and of our cells in our body. I believe that.
Granted. Right?
That's why people that are all cunty all the time and stressed out fucking are more prone to get cancer.
Could be.
Right?
Could be.
Now, with that being said, there's a lot more research for us to do in homeopathic medicine.
Could be.
Because, this is just new as of, like, the last 10 years, really.
Only to us.
Yeah, to us. Well, and it's been taught thousands of years ago in different religions.
So it's
different
kind of funny
spiritual practices, right?
There was a comedian who said, he's an Asian comedian, and he said, yeah, we've been doing this homeopathy shit for a long time until we figured out what fucking Western medicine was. Then we started taking pills because it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So, like, there needs to be a complement between the two of them.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is that I think the biggest premise, and maybe it was just the way how things were for me, was I felt like I was a sick patient as opposed to a person just trying to get information. Like that was the scenario of the situation. And so that to me was very concerning. That was very concerning for me because I almost felt preyed upon. And like this was going to be the end all be all information. When I looked at some of the information, it literally doesn't fit to who I am. Like, and I didn't just do this like biased with myself. It was, and we're not talking about the homeopathy stuff that I just went through. We're talking just ultimately through my life. Okay. I would have people look at the information that came from it. And it was not who I am. And the worst is when you say, well, that's just not right. And they look at you and they're like, but isn't it though? Like you're fucking lying to them. I have no reason to fucking lie to you. I'm telling you, your bullshit's wrong. Like I don't have to convince you. Like I'm just telling you, like that's not right for me. I'm telling you right now. Are you sure though? It's like when you're in the jail cell and buddy comes up to you and goes, "How are you doing?" "Good." how are you really doing? Fuck off. I'm doing fine. Like, dude, fuck off. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not a big deal. Like, come on, we're doing fucking time. You know what I mean? And that's the same way that I felt. Like, really? Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's not a fucking problem for me. Like, at all. Really? Fucking telling you, man. Like,
say really one more time, motherfucker.
Like, Jesus Christ, man. I don't fucking pray for you. No. Jesus Christ. You want to go there? Let's go there. Fuck. Come on. But that's my issue is doctor, and I don't believe doctors all the time either. I mean, I'm the guy who got diagnosed with fucking testicular cancer. They ripped my balls out, shaved the fucking balls to find out that I didn't even have cancer in the fucking first place. Can't have kids today. That's the Medical Association of Canada. And can you sue them for that? Not a fucking chance.
What?
Yeah, no. You sign a waiver. Yeah, doctor was wrong. Completely fucking wrong. Completely wrong. Ripped my balls out. They fucking took them out. They took these things off my fucking testes, put them back in my body. My balls were as big as fucking melons on both sides. I just sit on a fucking hemorrhoid pad because my balls were too big. And you want to talk about mansplaining? For fuck's sakes, I couldn't even sit in the fucking in the wheelchair because my balls were so big. Like, I would pick them up and have to put them on my lap almost. Right? like on a fucking hemorrhoid pad on the fucking wheelchair. I still smoked. Fuck them. What are they going to do? I had cancer. In my mind at that moment, was like, I had cancer. I fucking beat it. You know, I beat it. Right here, right now, we're fucking good. And then we go and do, like, all the other treatment and shit. Fuck, buddy, I didn't even have cancer. Like, we're really sorry about this.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. And then I'm like, so can I have kids? Probably not. Thanks. So the one thing that they did give me was they're like, well, we'll do a sperm count. I'm like, I can't do it now, you fucking idiot. My balls are 20 pounds apiece. Like, I fucking just by mistake slap the bottom of my hand into my balls to give you a specimen. I'm gonna fucking scream. Like, you have any idea the pain I'm in? Like, Jesus Christ, I was so fucking pissed. I was so pissed. But so like, I mean, I'm just skeptical on both sides.
I'm more skeptical to the doctors because there's more of a dollar amount involved.
In Canada, though, we have to be realistic about that. Doctors don't get paid anymore. Like, it's not like America. Doctors in Canada, because we have a social healthcare system, doctors are like, they are the epitome of socialism. They only get, like, a doctor at a school only makes $180,000 a year. That's it. It doesn't matter.
You don't get paid for how many more clients you have?
No.
And how many more prescriptions you give?
No, because...
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure in Canada. It's illegal for a doctor. So a doctor can give out samples fine, but it's illegal for them to take a payment. That's illegal for them to take a payment. And the fact of the matter is...
what do you mean? If you don't have benefits, you still got to pay for your fucking prescriptions?
No, but sometimes they'll give you
Yeah, I got a couple sample puffers. Okay?
Yeah.
But when my sample puffers are done, I still have to buy them.
That's right. But it doesn't mean that he gets money off that buy. The doctor got fuck all for that. And the only real reason why they're handing out supplements or for you to try this is because they're suspecting that you don't have the funds to get the medicine that you need right then and there in the first place. You can actually go back to them when those puffers are gone and say, look, I still haven't been able to go. Could I get more of what you gave me? And they'll typically do that.
Yeah.
What we have to recognize in Canada is it's not an American system. So our doctors, it's literally illegal for them to take a payment from the pharmaceutical companies. They can't do that. Where they do get fucked, though, is this. So, like, let's look at the whole Purdue Pharma thing with OxyContin. The fact of the matter is the Canadian Medical Association told doctors that OxyContin wasn't going to be it wasn't going to be addictive at all. And the doctors really bought into that information. And when they bought into that information, they disseminated that pill to everybody because they really thought that it was the lesser evil of all, like Vicodin and fucking all that shit. right?
Yeah,
That's the reason why they did it. So I would say, like, between American and Canadian doctors, I think Canadian doctors are less biased because they really don't have anything to gain from giving you this prescription or that prescription. They really don't. And they don't have the thing that doctors do have to have, though. So, like, if we look at the way how their system works is when they graduate from school, they have to actually produce 80% of their time in the hospital. They're not allowed to work in a clinic outside of a hospital. And the other 20% is to go work in some other doctor's clinic. Then eventually, as they get older or have more seniority, they will then end up spending more time in a clinic. But it's actually the Canadian government that says, if you're going to open a clinic, you have to have this amount of clients. And the reason why they're saying that is because the doctor has to get paid. It's through tax money. It's nothing to do with anybody else paying them, but to accommodate their salary. And all doctors, no matter what, have to spend, even in the end of their tenure of being a doctor, they all have to spend a minimum of 15% of their time in the emergency ward. They have to, because we don't have enough doctors to run the fucking hospitals. So that's why when you first graduate, you're in the hospital, and then from the hospital, you get less stressed work by working in a clinic. That's the advantage of working in a clinic, because it's less stress. Like, you couldn't even imagine what it would be like to have to work in a hospital with that kind of high stress all the time.
Yeah, we fucked up.
So so we have to take that into an account. We in Canada get all fucked up with this American idea that our healthcare system is the same as theirs. It is not. It's very much different. And that's probably the positive of our system, is that the doctors are not really, they're unfuckable. The Canadian Medical Association really keeps a lid on that shit. If it's anybody who's going to be fucked with, it would be the Canadian Medical Association. That's who would be fucked with. But the reality is doctors make no gain on signing. It doesn't happen. That's highly illegal. If they were to get caught, they would lose their practice. And for a doctor, I mean, they take an actual oath of OHIP, right? Like, it's called an OHIP oath here. Like, they have to, like, basically take an oath saying that they will practice medicine to the best of their capabilities in order to save all life inequity or inequality or whatever it is. So don't give a shit who you are, what you are. They'll save your life just as much as they'll save an infant's life. Like, that's because we have the right to life in Canada. That's in our Charter of Rights. And you have the right to free medical care. You don't have the right to pharmaceutical. You have the right to free health care in Canada. There's a huge difference there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a big issue. People think that, like, Purdue Pharma paid the doctors to hand out oxygen. No, didn't happen like that. Canadian doctors can't get paid extra.
So they say.
No, it's a reality, man. I don't think a doctor would. It would be like, I don't think a doctor would actually play with their license like that, because it would be easy for them to get caught. The fact of the matter, all you have to do is an income tax check. Like, in Canada, that's what would happen. I can assure. I'll put it this way: people think Canadian doctors make a hell of a lot of. They don't, man. Like, on the spectrum of what doctors make, Canadian doctors are paid very little. The only reason why they stay in the Canadian medical world is because if you make it through medical school for the first 2 years, you're pretty much $100,000 in debt right there. So then what they do is the Canadian government says, okay, your grades were good enough. And then they'll say, we'll pay the rest of your schooling, but you have to work for us for X amount of years after you graduate. So the only Canadian doctors that make it to, like, Johns Hopkins down in the States and shit are doctors who could actually afford to pay their entire tuition out. They don't owe the government anything. Those are the ones that actually leave and become a $500,000 to $600,000 doctor a year. Our doctors don't make that here, unless you're a surgeon. And that's only just, like, the way how it's done here. It's like a pay scale. So, like, you're a GP, a general practitioner, you get $180,000, maybe $200,000 a year. First year out of school, you owe $100,000 to maybe $200,000 worth of fucking student debt to get that job. Then, let's say you specialized in, I don't know, ACL. You're a surgeon for ACL. That gets you an extra $60,000. Your skill is on a pay scale. And that's how you get paid extra money. Unless you're a specialist, like when we had Dr. James Shapiro in. He's a specialist for DNA and the iSLIP program and diabetes and all that stuff. So he's not in the GP world. He's actually above that because the Canadian government wants to keep him here in order to produce something for its own society. That's how that really works. It's socialistic. You have to look at what a socialistic government is and then apply that to your healthcare system. That's exactly how our healthcare system is in Canada. And then on the other end, we have people who die in the fucking emergency ward waiting for a doctor. They're dead in the waiting room. And that's because like there's no prudence of care. You know what I mean? Like it's a triage system. Right? So that's the downside to it all.
Thanks for schooling me on that.
Well, I think a lot of people. I don't think
for sure. Like,
but I don't think a lot of people actually know that, and they're just those fucks. They're just because it's so much easier to say that, than actually like find out how that works, right? And then the other thing is Canadian taxpayers don't understand how their doctors are paid. You know what I mean? They're just like, well, you got to get paid somewhere. What do they sell? They're fucking drug dealers. No, they're not. Pharmacists are drug dealers. That's who fucking drug dealers are. Right? Like no, doctors aren't. They could give two shits. All they know is that this is the chemical that you're missing in order to do this for your body. That's all they know at the end of the day. You know? So that's all the topics.
Shut her down.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for listening and signing on. Please subscribe and share with all your friends. You can find the After the Show blog as well as a few other blogs at www.lifeonlifestermspodcast.com.
And fuck Manulife Place.
Yeah, they didn't like our dick pics blog, but we thought Chelsea did a great job on that.
Chelsea did an amazing job.
Yeah. But, thank you, everybody. And
have a wonderful Friday.
Keep on.
No, Thursday. This is Thursday.
Keep on fucking on.
Peace.